So, we did all those extra Pokemon Legends Arceus best teams, and it got me wanting to do one more for BDSP. There were quite a few of you asking for a team like this, and running through the Sinnoh starters really brought me around on the idea. The BDSP teams are all loaded with a lot of Cantonian Pokemon, which some of you didn't appreciate. So I decided to tackle an all Sinnoh team for this video. That means every Pokemon on the team must be of Sinnoh origin, with the only exception being those evolutions that Sinnoh added. So a Pokemon like Magnezone is just fine, despite its previous evolutions being from Kanto. This is all pretty simple, right? Also, I'm going to see if we can do what we did with the Legends Arceus team for this video by going over what the team does well against at the end. Consider this a bit of a prototype best team. There's no other gimmick aside from that. This is just the normal best team for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but with only Sinnoh Pokemon. So let's get into it. So starting off this best team is of course our starter Pokemon. As was the case with the original best team, we're going to be choosing Infernape as always. Sorry Torterra and Empoleon fans, you guys will forever have to take the back seat. You need to use Infernape if you're getting a choice at it, because there is really only one other fire type option in the region, and even then, Houndoom isn't as good. At least with the other two, you've got tons of decent options. So Infernape is still as strong as ever, with 104 in both of its attacks, and even better 108 speed. And man, is it just nice to have access to this thing. It's that simple, so there isn't much else to go over. Let's get into the moveset. So here we go. Our first moveset today begins with Close Combat, and is followed by Flare Blitz, Acrobatics, and Earthquake. Close Combat is of course the best fighting move Infernape is rocking out with from its pool. It's learned upon evolving into Infernape, so Mach Punch and Power Up Punch are the moves to go with for fighting type stab. Legends Arceus really spoiled us. I'd love to tell you to use Drain Punch, but you can't here. The next move is Flare Blitz, learned at level 68, but don't worry, it can be hard scaled back on with ease in Pastoria long before that level. Now, if you're less interested in recoil damage, Flamethrower is also super viable for Infernape, and you can buy that TM at the Veilstone department store. Next up, we have Acrobatics. It is learned at level 52, which is super later on, probably around the 8th gym. Thankfully, you can get the TM for Aerial Ace on Route 213, so use that until Acrobatics comes around. Finally, we've got Earthquake, a nice powerful move that rounds out the set. You'll have to wait until you have access to Wayward Cave prior to the 7th gym, where you'll find the TM sitting on the ground waiting for you to pick it up. Such a strong move. It's just a shame it's really late game. But thankfully, you can get the Bulldoze TM in that wonderful Veilstone department store until you have access to Earthquake. Oh no, we can only use Sinnoh Pokemon? That means I have no choice but to use Staraptor. What a shame. Poor me. I can't believe this. I guess we have to make the best of a bad situation. What's there to say about Staraptor? You can have it for the entire game since Starly is your first encounter. It has 120 base attack and 100 speed, and it's the best early route bird Pokemon in the franchise. I guess we should just deal with what we're dealt and move on. Brave Bird, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Steel Wing are the moves that Staraptor has going for it in this playthrough of Sinnoh. It's the best I could do to build the moveset for this just horrible Pokemon we've been saddled with. Brave Bird leads off this set as a move learned at level 49. But Aerial Ace and Wing Attack are both viable moves to use leading up until then. Next is Close Combat, which just like Infernape is learned upon evolving in the Staraptor. I really just want to watch a bird beat the crap out of someone, so that's the real reason I picked this move. Next up is U-Turn, which is a TM purchased in the Veilstone department store. If you want something to deal with psychic types, U-Turn is going to be the move for you. Who doesn't like a little pivoting action too? We wrap up the moveset with Steel Wing, a TM procured on Route 209 that serves as coverage for fairy types. You can never have enough of that, right? So this one is going to be so short because it's obvious. Roserade is the next member of the team. Badoo is a very early encounter, and it's powerful. You don't want to leave base 125 special attack on the table with a grass poison type, especially one that has great attacks in its pool. Speaking of, let's look at this lovely Roses set. We've got Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam, and Shadow Ball coming together for Roserade's moveset today. The lead off with Giga Drain is probably a little different than you'd be expecting. It definitely isn't hard to get Petal Dance, which is of course stronger, though it comes with being locked into the move and ending up confused, while Giga Drain can still hit hard and recover health. It just made more sense to me here, and its TM is located on Route 209, but you'll need Surf to go and get it. The next move up is Sludge Bomb, found in the Galactic Warehouse, which you're not exactly accessing until after the 6th gym, so it will take a while. There is a lack of poison moves prior to that, but it's no big deal. I mean, there is Poison Sting after all. Though we've got plenty of steel moves that can handle fairy types if need be. Then we have Dazzling Gleam and Shadow Ball, with the former available for purchase in that Veilstone department store, and the latter is found on Route 210 outside of Celestic Town. Just like Volo, Cynthia should be shaking in her boots facing off with Roserade. Let's move on to our next Pokemon now, as this second half of the team weren't on any of the original BDSP teams. It's weird not doing Clefairy, Guardy, or Snorlax, but it's alright, because I think these next 3 Pokemon are definitely good enough to make this team the best it can be. The first of those 3 Pokemon will be Drapion, which I for sure picked for the coverage it has in its pool. Thankfully, we have a poison type already with Roserade, and it's incredibly competent, so I can just run out Drapion as a dark type with a bunch of coverage. Skorupi is bugging around in the Great Marsh, so it'll be around your 4th gym battle that you add it to the team. At level 40, it'll evolve into Drapion, which should be around the time you're taking on Byron for your 6th badge. So it's a bit later in the game that you'll be running Drapion out, but that's completely fine, as Skorupi can still learn some decent moves on the way to evolving. Speaking of moves, here they come. So we can plow through this set on Drapion, being Night Slash and the Elemental Fangs. Night Slash is learned at level 36, and the Fangs will be heart scaled back on. I had to pull out all these bits of nice coverage on Drapion since we didn't have Clefable to lean back on. It's going to kick some serious ass in a playthrough, but you already knew that. Alright, the next Pokemon on the team will be the Great Gastrodon, because I really wanted to be sure we had a water type on the team. I would naturally want to use Gyarados, but since we're going Sinnoh only, Gastrodon was one of the best options as well. It was a pretty easy decision to bring into the fold. Shellos is an early encounter on Route 205 and evolves at level 30, which is a great combo. Early encounter, early evolution, what more could you ask for? Gastrodon definitely isn't a monster with stats, but being a water ground type leaves it with just one weakness. That's a nice trade-off considering I wouldn't call it the most defensive Pokemon ever. I decided on making it something of a mixed attacker, but still leaned right in on the special attacks. Let's peep that pool. We'll make it quick here. It's Earth Power, Surf, Ice Beam, and Stone Edge. So Earth Power is learned at level 39. You can run like Dig or something until then. Surf is the next move, which you get a TM of in Celestic Town from Cynthia's grandmother. However, if you want to replace it with Scald, which is found in the Galactic HQ, that's completely fine too. Scald is a great move, and it also has a chance to burn the opponent. Then we've got Ice Beam, which is bought in Veilstone's department store. And finally, Stone Edge. It's a physical move, yes, but the physical attack really isn't that different from the special, so I was cool with using a mix set here. That TM is found in Victory Road, but Rock Tomb is a nice move you could have for a while before then. Let's wrap up our team with Drifblim. I wanted to go bulky and hit a typing we needed in Ghost. You've got to get a Drifloon outside the Valley Windworks on a Friday, which can easily be manipulated on your Switch. Drifloon evolves in the Drifblim at level 28. And let's highlight this HP real quick. Base 150 HP is great, and even if its defensive stats aren't as good as you'd like them to be, it's still really easy to hit up hits with the sheer massive HP Drifblim has. As an attacker, it can get the job done too, being a pretty decent special attacker like Gastrodon. So Drifblim is bringing out Shadow Ball, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Strength Sap. Those first 3 moves are all par for the course for Drifblim, with 2 of them available for purchase in the Veilstone department store, while our Stab move is learned at level 20. Then Strength Sap, which I decided to include for a little recovery, and is a nice way to cripple a physical attacker, that can be heart scaled back on. A pretty dominant and simple lineup of moves, right? So now it's time to go over what this team does well against. Hopefully we can get in a good groove here like we did with the Arceus best teams. For the ease of things, I'll just refer to all the Pokemon by their final evolution. We'll start with the gym leaders. Rourke is able to be handled by Infernape, Gardenia is handled by Infernape, Staraptor, and Roserade, Maylene is handled by Infernape, Drifblim, and Staraptor, Wake is handled by Roserade and Drifblim, Fantina is handled by Drifblim and Drapion, Byron is handled by Drapion, Infernape, Gastrodon, and Staraptor, Candace is handled by the whole damn team, and finally, Volkner will be done in by Gastrodon, especially with support from Infernape and Drifblim. Now for the evil team members. Saturn is defeated by Drapion and Staraptor. Mars and Jupiter can be taken out by a combo of Infernape and Drifblim. And then finally, Cyrus is defeated by Gastrodon. Just smash in his team with rock moves and clean up the rest of it with an Infernape Drifblim combo. He's pretty easy. Now, for Barry, you'll really put a hurting on him by using Drifblim to take out his Roserade, Staraptor, and Heracross, and then tasking Infernape to take out the other half of his team. Everyone else is a supporting player there. When you're into the Elite Four, you'll be able to use Infernape and Staraptor to run through Aaron, and then you can trust Gastrodon and Roserade to make the Bertha battle easy. Go into Flint with Infernape and you'll have an easy time, especially if you end up with some Drifblim on Drifblim crime. Finally, that pesky Lucian can be taken care of by giving Drapion the ball to run with. That Mr. Mime will absolutely be crushed beneath the power of Roserade too, don't you forget it. Finally, the champion. Cynthia, of course, is our biggest challenge. You should have Roserade go at it with Spiritomb and Gastrodon, leave Garchomp and Milotic for Gastrodon and Drifblim, and then destroy Lucario and Roserade with Infernape. There's different combos you can go with than just that, but the whole team is well equipped to overcome Cynthia's challenge. So that's it. The best team for BDSP using only Sinnoh Pokemon is through. Another one in the bag. I really enjoyed this one, putting the spotlight on some more underrated and underused Pokemon while still bringing out some of the heavy hitters. I hope you guys enjoyed what isn't the traditional best team for a bit, but be on the lookout for something special next month. This isn't the end of in-game team-based content, trust me on that. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Tevachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.